Hi, my name is Justin, aka Ghost Reader, and today I'm going to be doing my February TBR. And this month is Black History Month, so most of my TBR is going to be stacked with books featuring black main characters and written by black people. I want to thank you all for watching. I plan to have some fun reading this month. I am part of two readathons and also doing a couple buddy reads. Actually, a lot of buddy reads. When I first started making this TBR, it was solely buddy reads, and then I kind of got sucked into the BookTube Games. Myona, she basically the creator of the BookTube Games, basically forced me to join her team, and so I'm doing that. And then also a lot of the books I was reading kind of went along with Blackathon, which was also happening, which was good because I kind of wanted to do it, but wasn't sure if the books I was reading were going to match up with Blackathon without adding way too much of my TBR for me to handle. But thankfully they did without too many changes to my TBR. I think I added one book in order to meet kind of all the challenges in Blackathon. But here we are. So first about Blackathon. Blackathon is created and hosted by Jesse Bowties and Books, Lauren from Novel Lush, and Francina Simone. I will put links to their channels in the description box below. Subscribe to the channels, check them out. Here are some of the challenges that you are challenged to read throughout the month. So basically, Feel the Love, read any genre featuring a romance between two black people or one black person and a person of color. Wakanda Forever, read a graphic novel or comic series with black or African main characters. Hear Us, and read any work by a black or African author. Feel the Beat, spoken word, listen to 4 poems and share your favorite with a friend and discuss what they mean to you. So those 4 poems are mentioned in their announcement videos, so I'll post a link to those announcement videos. So if you want to do this particular challenge, you can find the links to those spoken word poems there. More Than Color, we house complexity within us. Read a book starring an intersectional black character, so they could be black and gay, black and have some sort of disability, but some sort of intersectionality within with that black character that you're reading. So the last thing is a group book, and this group book is Poet X, and you can read that book along with the group. And so I think from those prompts, I actually added 2 books to my list to fulfill the comic book one, graphic novel, comic book series one, and then Poet X. And then also I'm gonna be doing buddy reads. So I'm gonna be doing buddy reads with Shawn from Shawn the Book Maniac, Doris from All These Books, and Karen from Runwright Reads. So let's go ahead and get into my TBR because it's already 3 minutes into this video and I haven't said what I'm going to be reading. So for my fiction reads, they are mostly all I think they're all buddy reads actually. And the first one I want to talk about is Old Man Slave. A lot of these books I don't really know much about. Just read the synopsis, thought they sounded great, and said that I will be buddy reading these. So buddy read Old Man Slave. I actually already read this book by Patrick Chaminso. And basically it's about an old man who finally in his old age decides to run away, and so I will be giving my thoughts on this either in the second video or in my February wrap up. Basically this old man decides one day that he's going to run away, and it's about his experience running away on the island of Martinique, which was a French colony. So I buddy read this with Shawn the Book Maniac. We talked about it, our thoughts on it, and so I'll probably be putting a video out soon, or if not, a separate video will be talking about it definitely in my February wrap up. The next book that I'm actually going to start reading today, or release on February the 3rd, not sure when this video will go up. On February the 3rd is Jonah's Gourd Vine by Zora Neale Hurston, which is actually I think it's her first novel that she wrote. I've read one short story by her before. I wasn't wowed by it, but it was okay. And so I hope that this book really I get to see like her long form writing, and hopefully it lives up to my expectations. Basically, this book is about John, who's a black man who seems to love too many women, and that's what I got from the synopsis. And so this seems to be going to be a quite interesting read. We're also going to be reading as a group. Me, Shawn, Karen, and Doris. We're going to be reading The Known World by Eric P. Jones, which is about a black slave who's taking care of his master's household, but his master dies, and then basically has to deal with the chaos and fallout of his master dying. Another book that I will be buddy reading with Doris, of all these books, and possibly other people in the group if they want to buddy read, we'll be reading Cane River by Lalita Tulami. And basically this is about 4 generations of African American women, from them being slaves to basically I think almost up to the present, and basically just catalogs their journey and their experience in America as it changes, and how they relate to the world and how it changes. So those are my fiction reads for the month. I forgot to mention, if you haven't been here before, I'm doing something new this year with my TBR. So basically usually I read 1 fiction, 1 nonfiction. This year I'm reading 4 comic books a month, and listening to music associated with those comics. 1 Shakespeare play, 2 short stories, a quarterly read, so a book that I read for the month, and also 2 books that I'm actually reading over the course of the year. So I have 4 fiction books to read, and so now for my nonfiction book, or at least I think Cane River may actually be nonfiction. Actually, I'm not sure about that, but I think Cane River is actually nonfiction. But my official nonfiction read for this month is actually The Black Count by Tom Rees, I believe. And this book is actually about the father of Andre Dumas, who wrote The Count of Monte Cristo, The Three Musketeers. Basically, this is about his father, who used to live in Haiti and then went to France, and actually, from the synopsis of the book, actually became a general in the French army, which I had no idea was a thing. He became a general of one of the revolutionary armies. So this should be a very interesting read. I do really like the French Revolutionary era and everything that went on there, so this should be very interesting, especially to see how he went from Haiti to being a general in the French Revolutionary Army. And now for my comic book reads of the month, I'll be reading Black Panther World of Wakanda. This was written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and also Roxanne Gay. They co-wrote this together, and this basically is about the Dora Milaje, 2 of the Dora Milaje, who were personal bodyguards to the Black Panther. So this cover art was inspired by Dr. Dre's Compton, and I must say that I really enjoy the cover art of this book here. It's one of my favorite cover arts here. So this will actually fulfill part of the Blackathon intersectionality, black character, because Dora Milaje, the 2 in this book, are actually in a relationship together. So covers that part of Blackathon. Also, I'll be reading the Prowler. I don't know much about this character. I just know that he's kind of like a vigilante. That's basically all I know about this character. Don't really know much. I don't think many people have heard of him. And so this cover was inspired by Tech 9 Psychology 101. So I will be reading that also, and then also I'll be reading Mosaic. I don't know much about this character either, except that he is part of the Inhumans, I believe, but I could be wrong about that. And so I actually met the guy who actually drew this cover, and I also met the woman who drew the cover for Wakanda, for this Black Panther book as well. It's really cool to meet them. And so this cover was inspired by Earl Sweatshirts, Earl. So I'll be listening to that this month as well. And last but not least of the comics, I will be reading Sam Wilson, Captain America. So Sam Wilson, if you've seen the movie, Sam Wilson is the Falcon. And at one point in the comic books, Captain America, I think, lost his super strength serum that makes him powerful, or something happened. And so Sam Wilson actually stepped into the Captain America role, and he took over for a bit. I also met the guy who drew this cover as well, and this cover art is inspired by A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP. So I'll be listening to that next month as well. Well, actually this month, it's already February. And so for my play of the month, I will be reading Othello by Shakespeare. I don't know much about this play at all, except for that the main character is black. And so one of my friends said that he read it and he liked it. So I'm gonna be reading that this month, and I hope to enjoy it as much as he did. Also, I will be reading 2 short stories, and those short stories will be coming from the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy in 2018. And the 2 stories that I will be reading from this are You Will Have Family, a Triptych by Kathleen Kayembe. I don't know anything about these short stories. I don't read anything about them beforehand. I'm just going to the blind. And Loneliness is in Your Blood by Cadwell Turnbull. All I know about these stories is basically that they're in this book. They're supposedly good, and they're written by 2 black authors. And then my genre read for the month, which is also supposed to be a buddy read. I'm gonna be buddy reading this with Jesse from Bowties and Books. Is Thug. And so my genre reads for this year are young adult, new adult fiction. So I had this on my shelf for a while. I started reading it in November of last year, but of course in November I was doing my World 1 series, working on my NaNoWriMo, so I didn't get to finish it. So I'll be starting this over and hopefully finishing it this year. Everyone likes this book, so I hope that I like it too. I think everyone knows what the plot and synopsis of this book is. So so I'll be reading Thug this month as well. Alright, so also in February, these are reads that are not really part of have anything to do with Black History Month, but just reads that I'll be continuing from January, and that's going to be The War for Armageddon, the Omnibus. This is basically a 2 novels and a couple short stories from the Warhammer 40,000 universe. I'll be definitely continue to read this, and you can hear more about this in my wrap-up video that should have up soon. I'm also going to be continuing The First Man in Rome, and hopefully get more than 65 pages in this book, because at this point this is my quarterly read, and if I continue at this rate, I won't finish this by the end of March. So we definitely have to do some reading in this. And then also my yearly read, I'm definitely gonna have to catch up on this too, the English in their history, because I'm only 38 pages in. Definitely need to do some reading this month on that. And also the one that I'm actually kind of on track on is my reading of the English in their not the English in the history, but the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Rick Gibbons. I'm actually kind of on track with that, about 9% finished with this, which is good. So that puts me kind of on track for the rest of the year and getting it finished, done, and out of the way. So that's it for what I'm going to be reading in the month of February. I'm really glad to have my TBR stacked with a bunch of great reads by African Americans and people of African descent. And I look forward to continuing my other reads from last month as well. So I want to thank you all for watching. You definitely check out all the people that I mentioned in this video. If you haven't subscribed to them, definitely do so. I just want to just definitely go check out their channels, because they have some really interesting stuff and they do great videos. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GhostReads28, and also on Goodreads. The link to that is down in the description box below. So as always, keep reading.